our week 35 pregnancy update. We've been skipping the belly shot, so we're gonna do that. So here we are. I am plenty big. I had an appointment earlier this week and everything looks good as far as the baby's, like my size, the baby's size. She looked over the ultrasound and everything looked good. So I started back at work. Oh my gosh. And I definitely have enjoyed this time off. It was a little stressful to go back. I work with amazing people. It's just, it was a lot of walking around, and I'm a teacher, so we had like professional development, so we had to like do a little bit of traveling to see different presentations, and everything was very valuable and important, and I'm glad, you know, that I came, you know, that I started this school year. I am nervous about my classes and my kids and how it's going to be when I return from my pregnancy. So anyways, so that was a little bit nerve-wracking, just kind of like facing the reality of it. So I don't think I noticed any additional swelling, because for those 2 days I wore, well no, the one day I wore like glorified flip-flops, but the other day I did wear a small pair of wedges, and I feel like I was fine. I have pretty comfortable shoes, so I usually make wise decisions. I know how much we walk, so I don't choose something that I definitely can't walk in. But I definitely got tired so quickly, and my small bladder is like super noticeable because I just have to pee all the time, and it seems super urgent, and then I go and it's like barely anything. So it just seems like a wasted, it's not a wasted trip, but you know what I mean? It's definitely gonna be, it's gonna be a little tricky. So it was nice to see all my coworkers because of course I look so much bigger than I did in June. So it was nice to see them and for them to see my belly, and they're all wonderful. So that was really great. And I do love what I do, so it did make me excited to go back and to meet new students and things like that. It is going to be, you know, fun. That is going to be neat. Our kids start next week. So these were just days we had available to sort of set up and look over the materials and, you know, some of the things that have been updated or changed for the new school year, things like that. And some of our positions and jobs have been slightly altered, you know. So yeah, kind of a lot, to be honest. It's normally a lot. I feel like every school year, because like I would actually prefer year-round school, and I know no one is going to agree with me on that. But the idea with year-round school is that you still get the same amount of time off. It's just that it's spread out as opposed to a huge summer. So I know I'm not a beach person, so I'm weird. And so, you know, that's the reason that everyone loves the big chunk of summer. But to me, it's just such a shock. Like, I wish it was more fluid and continuous. That way I was able to, you know, like changes would happen as you go, as opposed to like you stop, you have the summer off for the most part. You know, so there's nothing, and then you go back and you're just like thrown into, you know, the mayhem, so to speak, and you're learning all these new things that you have to do, and it's just not very fluid. It's very tricky, I feel like, at the beginning. So, and I don't love my long commute. I love it less than I ever have because of hitting traffic and having a small bladder, and just like the potential dangers of being on the turnpike and such, and having a commute be such a part of my day. So I definitely understand. A lot of people were like, you should, you know, move closer to home now that you're starting a family. I was like, or move closer to home, work closer to home. And I was like, you're right. It's not like I haven't been trying to do that. It's very hard, you know, to find a teaching job in my immediate area. There's a lot of really great school districts, but I just have not successfully obviously gotten a job offer or anything like that yet. So I will probably look, even though I love my school district, I don't love the commute, and it is going to be harder to make that commute having a little baby at home. I mean, I'm not going to appreciate that extra hour in the morning and hour in the afternoon that I'm losing, you know, for that. So that's something, you know, I really do have to think about and maybe start working on. We are up, I think, 24 pounds total from the beginning of pregnancy. A lot of hip pain, indigestion, tired, tiny bladder, tons of movement, Starting at my next visit next week, so during week 36, the checks will do a strep test. So apparently that's a virus. It's not like strep throat, it's different. It's a virus that some people just have. It's not like good or bad, it just is what it is. And apparently if you have it, they have to give you an antibiotic during birth so that you don't give it to the baby. But she said it doesn't like affect you, like you just have it or you don't. And it's funny because I had seen something about that and I didn't quite understand it, and I still don't, but that's fine. So I'll get that test. And then I think starting at the 36-week appointment on, they also check to see if you're dilated. So if you're starting. So they just told me to take it easy and rest and, as much as I can, and to just, be on the lookout for the normal symptoms that might indicate that you're going to go into labor. They just said to watch for the usual water breaking and then just contractions to time them. And I've heard a couple different rules. I don't know what you guys have heard. I don't actually recall what they said at the birthing class. Whoops. But I've heard different people say like 5-1-1 or 4-1-1 or 3-1-1. I can count, I swear. 3-1-1. So it's how many minutes apart the contractions are, that they last for a minute, and that it continues for, I think, an hour. I don't know. So you let me know what rule you've heard or what rule you followed. I know everybody's different, so I understand some people that want to do a lot of the beginning portion at home where they're comfortable and then just go in when you absolutely have to. Which I think is everybody's goal because insurance only covers you for so long, so you want to make sure that the time that you're in the hospital is time that you actually need to be there, as opposed to them checking you in really early and you not giving birth until much later, and then your time there is almost up as far as what insurance covers. It's so tricky, and I don't understand how, like disability, like I have no idea how all of that is going. Going to be an adventure. Like, you just gave birth, you're in pain, here's a bunch of medicine, and here's like 30 million forms for you to fill out. Hope you know what you're doing. Hope you can pay your mortgage. Good luck. I have no idea. So I'll definitely let you know. I'm in the US, obviously, so I'll let you know what I learn through that process if I have any advice for you. At this point, the end of week 35, he has done all of the painting. So like the ceiling, the walls, the trim, he put up the crown molding, and so this weekend he's going to do, with our friend C's, because he's an electrician, they're going to put in like the light ceiling fan setup, and then I think he's going to clean the carpet, and then we're going to be able to start moving things in, because I really want to see, like, I still don't have a concept of like what we might need as far as like furniture, because everything's just in the dining room and nothing's been put together. So I want like the rocker, the co-sleeper, the crib. And we don't have a closet in that room. It's so weird. We never noticed when we looked at this house to buy it that one of the bedrooms doesn't have a closet. Isn't that so weird? I think it's so weird. So anyways, so of course that's the bigger room, and that's the one that's going to be the nursery. So I'm just kind of curious as to like what we're going to need as far as like clothing and toy and just like accessory storage, and like we don't have like night tables, which I'm probably going to want something next to the rocker for like breastfeeding. I have no idea. People have looked at me and told me that she hasn't dropped yet, so apparently I will look a little different when she does. And I imagine I might feel different as well. But so far she has not dropped. But I imagine that when she drops, I feel like it's going to be a little less comfortable. Not that it's been super comfortable so far, but slowly it just becomes less and less comfortable and like harder to bend over. And like Sean had to buckle a pair of my sandals the other day. And I was like so mad about it because I have been avoiding any shoes that tie, obviously. That's easy, but I didn't think about how like I have some sandals that you have to like zip or, buckle up. And I was just like, I need you to help me put on my shoes. Like I was just like so upset. Like, why can't I do this? Obviously he was helpful, but it was funny because bending over is really not a possibility. Like it used to be like, oh, it's kind of uncomfortable. And now it's like, no, it's not possible. Your belly is literally in the way and it's very firm. So you literally can't bend over. So thank you guys so much. If you have any recommendations or any info to share, any advice, any love, anything like that, please do. And thank you so much for being with me on this journey.